Hey, hi everyone. Today, I am going to be talking about one of Du Bois's plots that he had made for the Paris exposition of 1900. And specifically, I'm going to be looking at um this one that displays the different incomes of 150 Black families in Atlanta, Georgia during this time. And my primarily goal of this video is to improve my current plot that I have right now so it can the format can be a little bit more accurate to what Du Bois's plot actually looked like, which as you can see here from the side. And a little brief overview of the data. So the data has the different income classes split up in in a range of groups, and then it has the average income for those different income classes, and then the average expenses on those different income classes. So for this part, we're gonna have rent, food, clothing, taxes, and others like education expenses, and all of that. Um, so the main research question if different expenses differ from different income groups and if there are any similarities or any huge differences and what can I interpret from that on the different expenses to see okay what the different classes prioritize based on their income groups. And the feedback I have received on this plot is to get rid of this white outline because it makes the other lines look thicker than this one. And also change the colors to be a little bit more accurate because the purple can be a little difficult to read, and then change my y-axis labels so that the format is more like this, that it has the income class next to the average income for that class rather than having it on top and bottom. And I also want to get rid of having like the class and that actual average repeated irreveal because I think that's kind of redundant. And another feedback I received was to improve my code style, so just break up lines and make it more easier to read. So those are the things that I'm going to be improving today so that my plot can look a little bit more accurate to the actual plot. And I also wanted to revisit this plot, so I wanted to look at any patterns that I didn't initially notice, and I think it'll also be really beneficial for me to look over my code and then being able to make changes to it based on what I've learned in the class up to this point. Right. So what I'm going to do is I want to get rid of this white outline first. Um, okay, this is what I had it at. What if I just change the color to black? Okay, so that's what's controlling the outline then, because if I change it back, it's gonna have that white border, but I only want the text. Wait, maybe a geom text, what if I put I want my color to be the expenses, but I only want rent to be white, and I want everything else to be black. Okay, maybe because I'm hard coding colors in here. What if like, I'm gonna do like true equals white because from here I'm putting it as if expense equals rent, then that means it's true because that's the color I want. And if it's not, then just make it flat. Okay. I'm gonna see if that works. So this. Let me also fix this. Wait, okay. I don't. Okay, okay. So that fixed it. Now I want to change the fonts. Is can I want to change the title font. I can do that in theme, but let me reorgan kind of make the code look more readable. Um, Now I'm gonna do text equals element underscore. I kind of want that to be bold, so I'm gonna change the font face as well. Okay. I want to change the fonts within these labels because here they look a little bit more. They look a lot different. Maybe if I just put the same family, the same times font I did. I put have font face. Let me just change the family as well. And then I have that. Okay, I like the way that looks a lot better. Now I'm gonna change these labels right here on the y-axis. You just have something like split along the middle. And then these I can kind of just do this. So I'm gonna hold that. But it's just okay. The space is gonna go. There we go. I'm going to do that as well. Same format for all of them. Okay. I think I don't need to something like that. Let's see what that does. Okay. Oh, but the way it has it auto though, I don't want it. Why did it change the order of it? Hmm. Let me add that piece of code back in here. Wait, so that changed it again when I did that. Oh, okay. Extra space right there. Hmm. I'm not sure why it's out of order on these. So 200, 300, 400, 500. Oh, okay. I missed a dollar sign right here. That's fixed. But now these two are kind of. Maybe I have an extra spacing. Oh, okay. I missed a space in this. Okay, there we go. So we have those now. I'm going to see if I can try to add these class and actual average labels, but I want to change the colors first though. Um, to be a little bit more accurate. So beforehand, I picked out some colors, so then that way I wouldn't be time consuming. So I'm gonna go ahead and see. They look more accurate, so I'm hoping that they appear more accurate on the plot as well. Hoping. Actually, I think like blue. Maybe I can just like it. Yeah, blue. Let's see how much that. Okay, so these colors definitely look a lot more accurate on this plot, especially with the background. Okay. I'm also going to improve some of the code style here. Okay. Maybe if I just add it on the y-axis and change the angle, maybe I could have it like that. I like class and then okay, actual average. That maybe something like that. And then I know that's gonna be vertical, so I want to change it horizontal. So I'm gonna change axes dot text dot y equals underscore text and then change the angle to 0. And then it to be just 2, 1, so it could be at the top. Let's see what that does. Okay, I just put it. I didn't really change much. Maybe I have the right, maybe the wrong thing. Oh, axes dot title. That's what I needed, not the text, the title. Okay, so it has a wild one at the top, but it just like squished everything else, which is not what I want. Am I able to move it horizontally as well? Let me just put like 0.1. Okay, so this might be fixed where it's at then. Mm. I'm trying to figure out how I could improve this. Maybe it's a way to expand it. Like it was like no, I don't think expanding it would do anything because it would just squish it more. Okay. Perhaps I could use annotate to add that, but I don't think I think it's gonna make it too close to these labels, which I don't want. Okay. So that is something I want to figure out, but in the meantime, I'm just going to not put a title on it. Um, so then that way it can give us a final visualization. Okay. Wait, how did it just change? Wait, when I didn't even notice when that happened. Wait, no, it literally just happened when I got rid of the y-axis. Oh, wait, why did it happen? Let me just get rid of this. Yes, let me get rid of all of that. Oh, there you go. That's why that happened. Okay, okay, there you go. So these are the improvements I try to make with the plot. Outside of this, I also want to make this a little bit more aligned, and I want to try to add the title, the class and actual average on the y-axis. I feel like it would be really beneficial for the audience to be able to see what are these numbers, what do they represent, and not just have a bunch of numbers on the plot. But based off this, we can see that lower income classes tend to spend a lot of their money on clothing, food, and rent, more and in the higher income classes from 750 and above don't there's no information up here about rent, but most of the expenses don't go towards rent because they most likely own their home. And a lot more of their money goes towards other expenses, which in here other is labeled as religions, education, art, savings, amusement, which we could have already which we could already assume because they have more privileges than lower income classes, which are living to survive. So, but we can also see that food sort of varies by different income group, but not by a lot. It's similar within the range as well as clothes. It's really similar. And with taxes, as well, except for the lowest income group, 100 or 200, that only has a teeny tiny, less than 1% of taxes that they pay. And we can also assume that because they most likely don't have any own property. But what I do have a question about is how come the highest income has pays the same amount of taxes as a 300 or 400 income home. And then this class also pays the most rent out of all of them.